Page 62, nobody knows the trouble I've seen. On here they're introducing or showing you the primary chords for the key of B flat major. You need to know these in both hands. The one chord, doesn't matter where you play them on the piano. I usually do it 2 octaves apart. It's more comfortable for me. So 1 chord and the 4 chord, the 5/7 chord. I mean, they look ugly, but just understand it's the primary chords for the key, and you need to know those anyway. As far as this piece goes, let's talk about it. Common time or 4/4 time, and of course we're still in the key of B flat, 2 flats. Now, watch out the rhythm in the right hand. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3. You got to bring the 3rd finger up. 3 and 4. Of course, this is a piece that's pretty well known, so you probably just know the piece and you can play it based on that. But hopefully you can look at this music and understand it, the rhythm. You understand this 1 and 2 and 3. Because the left hand is not going to be much help. It's just a bunch of half notes and whole notes. One thing we can do when learning pieces and you're struggling is to play a note in the left hand as quarter notes. So maybe the B flat, since we're in the key of B flat, just quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, keeps me the beat going, and then you can go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. See the relationship of this rhythm to the beat that way. That messes some people up. It confuses them thoroughly, and other people it helps them. I don't know what you are, so I just show it. If it helps, great. If it don't do it. Let's go on. This rhythm is all over the place. Get it here and you've got it. Over on page 63, you're going to end the first line here according to what they're saying, and then they want, for the next line, they want you to go up. I don't care for that. No. When you get to the end of the first line on page 63 here, that half note, play that with 3rd finger. Now you're ready. You're in position. Part of the thing about figuring out fingering in a piece is you have to look ahead to see what's coming, and can you do something now to prepare for that? That's part of what we're doing. Sometimes you can't, but if you can, we try and do that. And here we can do that. We know we're going to have to change hand positions, so we just get into that position early, since we can do that on these repeated notes. If you want, reach down with 2nd finger on the B flat. This is the 2nd line on page 63. The first ending, you can use 2nd finger on the B flats if you want. And the 2nd ending, that B flat, that's not a tie. You have to play both of those. That curved line that looks like a tie, that's the end of the phrase mark from before. It carries over from this. It's confusing sometimes. 3rd line down, you're up here. No big deal. And last line, you're here. And then I prefer, when you get to the end of 63, you're going to go back to the beginning at the bottom of 62. And you have 2 Ds. Rather than playing them both with 5th, I prefer to play the last note in 63 with 4th finger and then 5th finger. I like playing repeated notes using different fingers most of the time, not always. But here, you're here in this position. I'll just stay here, and then when I go back, then I can come here. That's how I can do it. There's nothing wrong with their fingering in the book. It's a different fingering style I use than they do, so that's what I do. For the left hand, you got primary chords for the most part. The 1 chord, 4 chord, 1 chord. Top of page 63, 5/7 chord. Till you get down to the 3rd line, then the left hand gets the melody. For that, and then the right hand gets the melody and you get chords. And then the last line, you can play that too, I'm sure. Let's put the hands together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And and 1. You get the idea? I don't know that I really need to point anything out. If you get it worked out so that the hands play okay by themselves, you put them together and work it out so they play okay. Get rid of any hesitations you may have anywhere. It's got to flow. The beat's got to flow evenly. And we go back and we add the articulation. Well, it's mainly slurs. You see the slurs in the right hand? Just lift up between the slurs. It's just a little more silence than you would get normally when you play repeated notes. So lift up between each of these slurs in the right hand. The left hand, play it as legato as you can. You go back and add the dynamics. Start out soft, that's the melody. The left hand's got to be very soft. Then you're going to get up, crescendo up to here. Only go up to about a medium soft or moderately soft. Don't get loud. Up to here. Then you come back down, back soft. Then again. So we're just shaping the phrase. You come out and you come out. Then top of page 63, second measure. Now you're going to go up to medium loud, sort of. Take your time, don't get medium loud till now, beta. That's where you're at. Then come back down. Now for mod, I'm going to hold one extra beat, otherwise you just kind of hang on to it until whenever. And then the third line down, this is medium loud, moderately loud, whatever that is to you. Now it's loud, and that's the right hand. Left hand's got to come down to soft. Now back down to moderately loud. Now you're soft, and that's the right hand. So the left hand has to be very soft. And that's a trick in the left hand, going from the second measure to the third measure at the bottom, because you're moderately loud. Soft, very soft there. It's from just all of a sudden. It takes control to do that. Adagio it's slow. You may have heard. You find recordings, I'm sure. Just very slow. Get to know the piece first, and then you can feel these dynamics and the speed and so forth. As far as the roadmap goes, in the second line of page 63, you got the first and second endings. But you'll notice at the end of the first ending, there's no repeat sign. And when they do that, you have to keep going. Because they don't tell you to go back anywhere, you keep going. That's your only other choice. Well, you don't play any other endings, you automatically skip those, because they're other endings. They have a note there to next strain. They don't need the note. You should know, just by knowing there's no repeat sign there, you just keep going, and you have to skip the ending. So that tells you you have to go to the next line. That's all. That's the only choice left. Then the DC al fine at the bottom, that sends you back to the beginning and goes to fine. And fine is the second ending there. You see the thin and thick bar lines at the end of the second line? That's the roadmap. Now they've added pedal to smooth this out, and the overtones. More for the overtones than connecting it. But it's a legato pedal, but we'd like to hear the phrasing. So you're going to lift up so we hear the phrasing. So I'm going to push the notes down first and then the pedal. And I'm going to change the pedal after I play the notes. Between the phrases, I lift the pedal with the hand so there's silence. A style of pedal I typically use, and I have a habit of doing this, is like at the beginning I have here. I don't pedal that eighth note. I don't pedal until this here. So I don't need both of these notes. I don't need. So I pedal after I play the quarter note. And again after the eighth notes. Top of page 63, the first measure. I don't pedal until I play the F, because I don't want both of these. That's trouble. Just wait until you play the F. Then you can pedal it and lift up. Now you're not pedaling this part. Then you're pedaling this. With each, and lift up so we get a little silence. Again. And lift up before you play the quarter note. And then you go back to the beginning. That's my suggestion on the pedal. Again, listen very carefully to what the pedal is doing to the sound and adjust it to what you like to hear. It's a personal thing. I'd like to play this with you slowly. It's a slow piece anyway, so we might be playing it close to the speed it goes. Well, I'm not doing any dynamics of that. You can do that. I'm just going to do the notes and the pedaling and the articulation or whatever, so you make sure you have the right notes and rhythms. So I'm going to give us 4 counts and let's play it together. 1, 2, ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 3 and 4 and 4. 2, 2. And 4 and. Hold. To the beginning. 3 and 4 and. 3 and 4 and. 3 and 4 and. Second ending. 4, hold, 2,